session. Thank you everyone for joining at 7 p.m. Is it? Cool. Yeah, so let's start. I'm Jinsung. I graduated New York Core 9, and I'm currently working as a full stack software engineer at a company called Data Miner. And yeah, I also teach JSP and CS prep for part-time. So ask me if you guys have any questions about the prep courses. I will be able to answer as an instructor. And also I took the prep courses myself to prepare for the immersive program. And so ask me any question if you have anything related to that or anything in general. I will be happy to answer any questions. So let's begin. Cool. So today we are going to cover all these, like what our approaches are, the instructors that we have for the prep courses, our online learning experience, JSP, CS prep, and then how to prepare for the immersive program. Okay, so the first topic, our approach to teaching. We have highly interactive lectures and diagramming. I personally took a lot of prep courses when I was preparing for the immersive programs, but Codesmith prep course was the only one that was this interactive, because usually it was more tutorial based, which was really helpful to kind of just ask questions to the instructors. It was easier to understand, and also the diagramming was really important because knowing how JavaScript works under the hood really helps me understand the core topics. And it becomes a tool that you can use. So later on, if you see an algorithm question that you want to figure out, you have no idea how it's working, but now you have the tool, you know how to diagram. That means you can solve the problems on your own, which is what software engineers do, solving questions, problems. And we also do a lot of pair programming sessions and group projects. For pair programming, after each material, we have a pair programming session where we use Zoom, just like now. And then we have something called like breakout rooms. So the instructor will create rooms with pairs, so you guys can just communicate there and work on a single URL, so the two of you can share what you guys are writing. Yeah, and for group projects, for each programs after the 2 weeks, we have a group project where you guys ideate, start from blank page, and the following Monday you will be presenting in front of the team, in front of the whole class, which is very important because that kind of preps you as a software engineer, not only for the immersive program, but you have to get used to presenting what you write. So that really helps as well. Live coding by instructors. So we do live coding sometimes to show how we tackle questions. I like to say like an approach, not the right one, because there's so many other ways to solve the questions. So when we do live coding, we get a lot of feedback questions from students, which is a good chance to learn about best engineering practices, meaning knowing or intentionally using which tool for that specific algorithm question, and so on. We also have individual coding challenges for JSP. I will dig deeper later on for specific courses, but for JSP, we have homework each week. And for CS Prep, we have PODs, problem of the day, every single day. So like, yeah. So the next day, you will have 24 hours to solve the questions, and then every start of the lecture would be going through an algorithm question, like an approach again, which would be in live coding. And then we have final assessments, which is like at the end of each course. And then for the final assessment, again, I'll cover later on, but if you pass the final assessment, you will get a guaranteed interview for the next step. Cool, so these are the instructors. My hair grew a lot. Anyways, yeah, these are the instructors. For each cohort, one instructor will be in charge for the whole cohort, meaning you will have a chance to get to know your instructors very well, build a good relationship, and just ask a bunch of questions as well. Yep. The online experience, we use Zoom just like now. So for lectures, it will be similar like this. We have a screen shared. We use our iPad so we can do a whiteboarding session. I'm not sure if you guys ever went to um, the offline workshops at Codesmith, but we have a whiteboard, and then we do a lot of diagramming, which will be very similar to the online experience, online learning experience. Again, live code, we will use REPL and we share screens. And then again, breakout rooms for pairing also via Zoom. For other announcements, communications all happen in Slack. Once you get into a cohort, either JSP or CS Prep, you will be invited to a Slack channel. Any announcement will be there. Communication with your instructors, classmate outside of class can be happening there. Meaning, if you want to pair program outside of class, which is awesome, you can contact them via Slack so you guys can keep in touch even after the prep courses. So, what is JSP then? JSP is short for JavaScript for Beginners. It's a 12-hour introductory crash course to coding. So it'll be 6 hours on a Saturday and another 6 hours on the next Saturday. You learn how to program, how programming can be applied in real life. That's why we have the projects, and even after those 12 hours, you will be able to create a JavaScript game, which is very interesting, my favorite part of the whole class. We cover JavaScript fundamentals and how programming works under the hood. And it's not mentioned here, but we also cover how the web works. So you kind of get a big picture of why I'm learning JavaScript, what I can do after learning this, and then what kind of careers are out there. We do again, live online instructions, pair programming, and we build a project at the end. Yeah, it helps you launch your feature in tech. And and for the schedule, it'll be 6 hours again. On the first Saturday, we learn variables, primitive data type, not only primitive, but yeah, anyways, data types, and then looping and control flow. And then the second day, we will be learning how the web works again. And then function, the fun part, execution context, and then we build the project on the second Saturday. For CS Prep, CS Prep is a 2-week part-time program taught completely online again. We cover JavaScript concepts, and then on top of that, engineering best practices and problem-solving skills, and also technical communication, which Codesmith really value for the programs. Not only programs, but like the whole Codesmith spirit is technical communication. Yeah, so we really emphasize that. We actually ask our students to record themselves doing that technical communication so the instructors can give them feedback on it. We do live online instructions, daily coding challenges, the PODs that I mentioned, and then we do pair programming, group projects, and more. It helps you prepare for the top coding boot camps like Codesmith's immersive program. Yeah. So if you're not sure if you should be taking JSP or CS Prep, for CS Prep, you should be taking if you are preparing for the elite coding immersive programs. When I compare with some other bootcamp curriculum, it was worth the first 2 weeks of other bootcamps kind of material. So if you're interested in getting into the more elite coding immersive programs, I highly recommend you take CS Prep. Also, if you want to go deeper in JavaScript, be better problem solvers and improve your technical communication I think it's a perfect course for that. Um, it is a more structured learning environment. I actually liked this because even though we offer in Codesmith free workshops, um, it's kind of hard sometimes because it's not structured. Like, it's the materials are not in order. I can't really choose which material to learn. So sometimes I would miss a concept. It would be hard for me to understand and so on. But because our curriculum is structured in a way that is easier for the students to understand and remember. So that was one benefit of taking CS Prep. And also, if you're ready to take your JavaScript to the next level and move on from those online tutorials that I mentioned, CS Prep is perfect for you. Yes, and this is the schedule. This a lot more actually. Um, more time involved compared to JSB. It'll be 3 hours Monday to Wednesday, and then 6 hours on a Saturday. We cover JavaScript executions, functions, um, and then objects and arrays, callbacks, higher order function, object-oriented programming. And then on the second week, we again, same schedule, 3 hours on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 6 hours on a Saturday. The fun stuff, recursion, algorithms, closures, and then we do a group project as well. And the following Monday, we will be presenting the group project, group demo. So this is the road to the software engineering immersive program. First, I highly recommend you take JSP and then CS Prep and then the software immersive program. And one thing I wanted to mention for JSP, some people, especially if you're interested in learning JavaScript, I'm pretty sure some of you already looked into it, kind of started solving CSS questions and so on. So there were some students who actually skipped JSP and then dove right into CS Prep. However, the questions, okay, so when I was teaching CS Prep, I could notice people who were actually from JSP and who were not, because they were more prepared for diagramming and they had better or more solid foundation of understanding, which really helped them understand CS Prep material because it's not that easy. And also, I had a student who asked me about Clojure, how it's working, but then I asked the student to take JSP and learn about functions. And after that, they were like, oh, now I know Clojure, which is a way more complex concept, but you will only understand it if you understand the JSP level. And I will say JSP is like easy. We do like the topic seems easy, but we do dig a lot more deeper than other more beginning level preps. So yeah, if you think you're like super ready to dive into CS Prep, go for it. But I'll say there was some benefit after based on my experience going from JSP to CS Prep, you might learn a lot more. Same thing, if you attended CS Prep and then got into the immersive program, you will learn a lot more in the immersive program because you will have like more solid, better foundation. Cool. And yeah, this is the admission process. And I think there was a notification on the chat. I will check after I go through the whole slide, if you don't mind. Cool. Yeah, and then for the admission process for JSP, we have an online application, which is like a short essay and an optional coding challenge. You can then save your seat. And then for CS Prep, same thing, online application. There's a phone screen, which is added, and then we make a decision. If you're accepted, you can submit your tuition and then get a guaranteed spot. Yep. For the tuitions, JSP is $300, but we also offer some scholarships. We also have women's scholarships. So if you have any questions regarding that, please email Chelsea, or there's a CSX Slack channel. You can Slack Chelsea there. Or if not, you can, yeah, I think Chelsea is reachable. I will add her email address on the chat. But the important thing is all tuitions are rolled over, meaning if you pay $300 for JSP and then you're going to take CS prep, that $300 is going to be rolled over, so you only have to pay $450. Same thing happens for CS prep. If you paid $750, and again, you have all these scholarships, women scholarships, and so on, that tuition will be rolled over if you get into the immersive program, so you won't, $750 will be deducted. So if your end goal is actually getting into the immersive program, I highly recommend you take JSP and CS prep, because you kind of get your money back. Some, yeah. Yes, so the next slide. We also have free resources. Again, the platform that I mentioned, CSX, there is our online learning platform. We have hundreds of hours of video lessons there. And the algorithm, or like the topics, are organized very well. So if you are comfortable with solving all the questions there, you will be doing great on the immersive program technical interview. So go ahead and practice there. And also we have free JavaScript workshops, currently all online, but we usually have offline workshops as well. Yeah, so we have on-site LA and New York, and also online, but I think it's all online for now. All levels are welcome for intro to JavaScript, and also JavaScript, the hard parts. Even though you feel like, because of the title, hard parts, you're not ready, go take it. The more you hear about it, it'll be easier for you to understand at the end. So I highly recommend going to these online workshops, because it will just, someday you'll just realize, oh, I was ready for all these materials. So yeah, these are the free resources that we have. Here are some important dates. Our upcoming court is May 30th for JSP. So the deadline would be in a few days. Also, so for CS Prep, same thing. May 26th is the upcoming court. I think the deadline is today, right? Yeah. So I will share a direct application link for today, so you guys can apply right away if you want to. Cool. So this is the end of what I prepared for the info session. Any questions? I will read Oliver's chat right now. I just completed this meeting. Okay. Ooh, JSP on steroids. Okay. Cool. I like how you expressed it. JSP on steroids. Yes. It is pretty intense. Based on my experience, I don't have any technical background, so when I was taking CS prep, oof, it was rough. It was hard. It was very challenging. The material is very intense, but it was doable, if that makes sense, because you're focusing on one topic for 2 weeks with all these people, and you're basically solving at least one JavaScript questions every single day. You might not realize, but after 2 weeks, you improve a lot. So yes, be prepared before getting into any of the prep courses, and especially for the immersive program, very intense. That was like one of the hardest time of my whole life for my brain, but yeah, I mean, it was worth it. So be prepared before getting into it, but you guys will do great. The next question was, what are some advice you have for someone who does not have a coding background? Me, that's just exactly who I was. I would say get exposure to as many concepts as possible before getting into the prep courses or the immersive program, because the more you hear about, if you heard the term before, it will be easier for you to understand later on, if that makes sense. So like for me, I didn't really know full stack, front end, back end, what languages were there, what or like all these libraries and frameworks like React. I just never heard of it before. So it was hard for me when I first heard at those concepts at the immersive program, because there's no time for us to like preview or review. So I think that is one advice that I can give you. Also, just try to solve JavaScript questions every single day, because you are not used to it. It's a skill. It's just a language at the end of the day. When you learn a foreign language, you have to use it every single day, right? Or else you're going to forget it. That's JavaScript. So do it every day, little by little, then you'll improve. Cool. Next question by Alex. I was accepted to CS Prep, but I wanted to get more information on the Scholar option. Okay, so for that, I will again, Chelsea. IO. She's the right person to ask. Cool. Next, Bo. One thing that's done me as a beginner is knowing how to break a large program down into smaller, more manageable pieces. Is this something that is taught? Okay, so in our prep courses, we don't teach this. This is not like a part of a material, but because we do a lot of live coding, I got some feedbacks from the students saying it was helpful when they were solving, because they now know how to tackle these bigger questions. Because how our live coding works is we read the question together, we create I don't know, if it needs a function, we create a function, and then we pseudocode everything first, every single step, then we write the code. So I think that pseudocoding step really helps later on. Especially if you haven't seen any other people solve an algorithm question, that will be very helpful. And for, yeah, if accepted into the immersive program, would like to wait for in-person, what's the best option? Yeah. For that, I think it is an option. People who got accepted for the online course currently, they kind of postponed their decision for the in-person experience. So yeah, it is doable. It is possible. Okay, next, how far into CSX curriculum should we be go? Oh, for CS Prep. I would say like unit 3 would be good, because because CS Prep will be covering the other materials. However, it will be easier for you to understand when you're taking CS Prep if you already like have some idea what closure is, have some idea what OP is, like object-oriented programming is. Again, these materials are very is intense and also very fast-paced. So the more you know before you take these courses, the more you'll get out of it. So I personally try to solve at least one questions from all the topics, or at least take the lectures there on the videos. So I kind of have an idea what's going on. The next question would be, would it be possible, doable for anyone who had just started learning coding in 2 weeks? Yeah, for JSP, it is doable. It is for beginners, so you are looking at the right course. Also, yeah, but it's going to be intense, not because you don't have enough experience, but because even in JSP, it's not like super beginner. We look at how JavaScript works under the hood, which most of the beginner level prep courses do not do. So it might be a bit intense compared to other tutorials, but it is for beginners. Cool. And then another question, mainly a Java developer on the back end. Cool. I'm using Java right now on my back end side. killing me. Anyways, I do have a lot of experience in coding, but mostly limited to Java. You know, JavaScript is very different from Java. I have some exposure to front-end technologies, but it's limited. So my question is whether there is a different path for someone who has also. I'm not sure what you meant by having a different path. Um, can you actually unmute and then clarify your question real quick if you want to, or you can type.
Oh, hi. Yes, this is Oliver.
Yes. Hi, Oliver.
So my question is because I don't think I need to go through the same class as somebody who doesn't have background, right? Like you mentioned about JSP, I've done a lot of JSP already. And even like Angular, I know 1.5, but I don't know the latest.
Okay.
Yeah, so what I'm asking is there's a different class for people who already done a lot coding, but not JavaScript.
Okay.
Like, you know, because it would be different. If someone has done this for like many years, then you treat them as a beginner, they will get bored.
Okay. I think I got your question. Yeah. So for that, we don't offer any other prep courses, and these prep courses are not mandatory. So if you think you don't have to take it, you don't have to take it. But what I would say based on my experience with learning JavaScript and Java, I highly recommend taking maybe not JSP, but CS prep, because we do learn how JavaScript works under the hood, and it's really different, as you said, compared to Java. So I think that would benefit you. But if not, if you feel like you're ready for the immersive program technical interview, you can just totally take study on your own on CSX and then apply.
Okay.
So
Got it.
Yeah. Cool. And then I have zero knowledge of coding. Where do I start? JSP. I would say JSP. If you just want to see if like coding in general is right for you, you can take our JavaScript the easy parts workshops. Without paying. So because it's free, you can just take that first, and then see if you actually like coding, see if you actually like JavaScript. Then you can join the JSP cohort and then start there. Yeah. Cool. Does anyone else have any other questions? Courses. Yeah, the question was, how much coding do you have to do outside class to stay up to date? That really depends. But during the cohort, you will have a bunch of things to review, a bunch of questions, like homework and product of the day for CS prep. So you will have enough material. I never saw any student who said I need more material, because it's pretty intense, especially with your regular daily lives. If not, if you actually need more things to solve, or like more problems that you want to review, CS prep is the right source. But I don't know, this is really different based on individuals. I personally, when I was taking CS prep, all the material was enough, but after CS prep, it was hard to kind of remember what we learned. So I would say at least an hour every single day was needed. I personally studied full time for the immersive program, so yeah, that's what I did, because I had zero technical background. Cool. I hope that answered your question. I'm not sure I understand about the immersive program. Can you go over it? Oh, the immersive program is our actual cohort, our residency. So today's info session, we only covered the prep courses to get into our boot camp. So yeah, I think the term immersive program kind of confused you. It's our boot camp, if that makes sense. Any specific questions regarding that, I would say email Chelsea if there's any like curriculum that you can see beforehand or so on. Yeah, cool. And the next question was, sometimes I have difficulty constructing and understanding the CSS challenge. Some methods I can use to better grasp. Okay, so the main reason why it might be hard to grasp is, yes, there are some questions with which could be phrased better, but because you're not used to the concept. What I would suggest is either take the prep courses or join the workshops or take the video, watch the videos on CSX, and then the more you solve the questions, the easier it will be. Honestly, there's no like one way to get better at this, but the more you see the questions, it'll be easier. I could say this is true because for when you do your job search as a software engineer, you have to study all these technical questions. At first it was like, why do I don't even understand the question. I don't know why this island wants to be a 1 and then it becomes a 0. Like, I don't know why 1s and 0s suddenly became an island and an ocean, whatever. But later on, it makes sense. The more you see the question, try to solve it, it makes more sense. So yeah, I think repetition is just key. Sorry, that's very lame answer to the great question. Anyways, the next question would be, how difficult is the technical interview? Consider the CSS level as the benchmark. Harder than CSX for sure, not because of the questions, but because you have to communicate with the interviewer, which was the hardest part for me personally. And also, it's not about using the methods like using reduce, using for each or things like that. You actually have to recreate those in the technical interview. So you would have to have a good understanding of each concept. Yeah. What is the equipment requirement for the course? You would have to have your laptop. For the specific specs, I think you should email Chelsea because I do not know well. Yeah, sorry I wasn't helpful with that question. I was looking for looking at the application for JSP. Oh, so I shared the link on top. I will reshare it here. Oh, wait, this is not for JSP, is it? This is only for, let's go back to, let's see. No, never mind. Yeah, I don't think this is for JSP, or is it? Fine. Yeah, I don't think there's a fast track because we don't offer, you don't have to go through a phone interview for JSP. I don't think you need the fast track, but write that code for the discount. Cool. Awesome. I hope it was helpful. Does anyone else have any questions? If not, oh, I think so. Yeah, I think it is on the website. So, anyone else have any questions?
Hey, quick question on
Yeah, sure.
maybe it's not a quick question, but
Mhm.
what kind of on the personal side, but what kind of drove you to go into coding, and how's your perception been now? Like, now that you've done it, is it what you expected, and do you enjoy it as much as you thought you will?
Yeah, for sure. So for me, I personally, okay, I majored in psychology, especially on the cognitive neuroscience part. So we learn about brain. And for me, I felt like it was kind of impossible, at least for my brain, to understand brain in general. So I was like, you know what? I'll just make one. So I just wanted to learn a tool to build something instead of I'm trying to understand what is already built. That's a weird thing, the weird thought process, but however, that's how I got to coding. And then after, what was the second question? Like after I got
It's
became
more
a software
after you've done it, has it met your expectation what you expected?
Oh yeah.
Are you
Actually,
seeing you actually
yeah.
enjoy it and like what
Yeah, for sure, for sure. For me, it's like I think it's a perfect job for me personally, especially with the pandemic. I feel like I feel very blessed because this is for sure a job that you can work from home without being bothered at all. And also just the work environment. I really work like exactly at 8 hours a day, not even 8 hours, honestly less than 8 hours. Very chill. And I don't know why, but all engineers that I encountered based on, I actually changed my job. I had my first job and then I went to my current company. And I don't know why, if this is like engineering specific characteristic, but everyone's very welcoming and they're willing to help. So I only had good experience. So I would say it was one of my best decisions to go to Codesmith. Like one of the best decisions that I made in my life. And that's why I'm still stuck here in Codesmith, trying to kind of give back that experience that I had. Yeah,
awesome.
I
Thank you.
hope that,
Appreciate it.
yep, you're welcome. Yeah, does anyone have any other questions? If you don't have a question right now, you can email me later. I will add my,
Can I ask something?
yeah, sure, go ahead.
I joined a little bit later, and you might have already answered this, but what is the success rate after you complete the CS prep to
Ooh,
get into the
yeah.
immersive program right away from the first attempt? Because I saw a couple reviews online and all that, and they were all saying that it took them a couple attempts to go into the program.
Yeah. So great question. So first of all, you only have 3 attempts for the technical interview. So for the immersive program, so you have to plan intentionally. Also, yeah, again, taking CS prep doesn't mean you get into immersive program. You have to put a lot of time in to prep for the technical interview. It took me 2 interviews. So first round I failed, and then after 2 weeks I took another interview, a technical interview, and then I got in. I think that was the norm for our cohort. This is not even statistically significant, but yeah, based on my experience, that is what I saw. I do not know like the exact percentage of CS prep yeah, court resident or like students getting in immediately, but yeah, I would say you have to put in the work. It's not like connected, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's not guaranteed, unfortunately.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
understand it's very individual, but
Right. I would say the first attempt,
it's rare.
it's rare, honestly. Yeah, I'll be honest. Yeah, I think it is rare. Most people who got in immediately was like they had some technical background, so it was easier for them to understand JavaScript concepts, but that doesn't mean someone who does not have a technical background did not get in from the first attempt. So yeah, I'm sorry, that was a horrible answer, but
It's all right, yeah.
I'll try to email you if I have any other better statistics. Cool. Yeah, and then go ahead, Oliver.
Yeah, so from if I understand correctly, you join this program now and you become teacher here.
Yes.
That's actually the part I was thinking about. So how successful for a student to become, like
an instructor at Codesmith?
Yeah, yes, exactly. Well,
okay, for online
right.
instructor only. So I'm the only one who became an instructor throughout my previous court, my court, and the past court. So it's very rare. Because especially I personally have a full-time job and then I'm teaching for a side.
Yeah.
So that's also pretty rare. For people who become the staff at
Yeah.
Codesmith,
Yeah.
which are still pretty rare. We have like 25 students each cohort, and then only like 2 people become a what is it? I forgot the term. Oh my gosh. There's
Instructor.
like a TA,
Yeah.
yeah,
teaching
not
assistant.
instructor. So there's something like a TA. So they do that for like 6 months.
Oh,
Another cohort,
right.
like
Teaching
3
assistant.
months. Yeah. Yeah, and then from there, I think you can become an instructor. I'm honestly not sure how I became one, because I was not one of those fellows. I was not one of those fellows. I just they were looking for online instructors, and I just applied and took an interview with Codesmith. So yeah, I would
Okay.
say yeah.
But that's
I think they're gonna.
yeah, that's a great example. I think because you mentioned about the flexibility, right, to teach online, and also you can keep you another job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a perfect. I mean, for for someone who actually,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that could be a possibility, right? So that's all.
Yeah, for sure. But I can't really say for the online instructor position. You only, like only get in if you have a position empty. But for fellows, it is empty every single cohort. If that
Oh,
makes
okay,
sense.
got it. Yeah, right.
Yep.
I see. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. And for the payment options, and that, I honestly do not know. And for the second part, you can pay after you get it. I don't think I know about that. I did not hear about that before. So maybe there was an update in the payment options. You can email Chelsea. Chelsea is the right person to contact. What is a fellow? Yes. So after you go through a whole cohort, we have an interview for the fellow position, so you can apply. Fellow is after the program, you help the new cohorts and then do teach the approach lectures and so on. This is also a great opportunity because you get to review the materials and you get paid. It's not a lot of money compared to you getting a job as a software engineer, but based on what I saw, the residents who went through the fellowship, they had more solid understanding because they literally got to review and teach in front of everyone. Yeah, so I would say if you become a fellow, I think that's awesome, but again, it's really hard to become one. Yeah, so that's a fellow. Yep, basically. You just organized it in one sentence, which was way better than my explanation. Perfect. Yep. Anyone else? Yeah.
The tuition that you pay for the prep classes, the JavaScript for beginners, and then the CS prep, they get deducted if you get to the immersive program later on.
Yep. So
all right.
I will get back to that one. Yeah. So again, JSP tuition, which is $300. If you take CS prep, that $300 deducted, meaning you only have to pay $450. Same thing. So now you paid $750 to Codesmith, right? So now if you take the immersive program, that $750 will be deducted from your actual tuition for the immersive program.
And you already spoke about the scholarships as well?
Yeah, so for JSP scholarships and CS prep scholarships, I think these two mean the code that I shared, Learn to Code. But if you have any questions regarding the tuitions or any scholarship options, I would email Chelsea. Yeah.
And I think you said you don't know about the computers, but does it have to be a Mac computer?
I think so only one person did not have a Mac computer, but we had instructions for that as well. So yeah, I think it would be best to ask someone, ask Chelsea again, about what kind of, what you need for the immersive program.
All right,
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome. Cool. Does anyone else have any questions? Thank you, everyone, for joining our info session today. And I hope everyone gets into the immersive program. Thank you.